Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and welcome back to the Boeing 787. Today we're going to take the TUI 787 from Manchester to Punta Cana, which is a classical TUI UK route that we are absolutely gonna love. About 8 hours and 15 minutes of flight time ahead, and thereafter we'll find ourselves at some beautiful beaches, and honestly that's really all we can ask for, isn't it? Now, before we start this flight, a quick message from today's sponsor, sayintentions.ai. Now, if you're looking for an ATC add-on, and not just one that can do your standard IFR A to B flight, but also one that can do other things like VFR, like data link, and has a couple of extra gimmicks, such as, for example, a cabin crew simulation, then Say Intentions may just be for you. We're going to use it throughout the course of this video. I'm sure you will absolutely love it. And with that out of the way, if you do like what you see, then be sure to check it out using the link in the video description or in the pinned comment below. And with that much out of the way, let's go ahead and get straight and ready into our flight plan check. So this is going to be the route for today's flight, Manchester to Punta Cana. As you can see, we are initially flying towards Ireland and then southbound across the Azores all the way down to our destination airport. Now let's go ahead and have a look at the significant weather charts. The first half of the flight is very nice, and the second half of the flight is as well. In terms of airport weather, Manchester does have a little bit of wind from the west and scattered clouds, and our destination Punta Cana is just beautiful. Now for our alternate La Romana, we have beautiful weather conditions as well, so with that out of the way, we can go up into the plan and we can see that an on-time departure means an on-time arrival at a cost index of 30. We are well clear of both the maximum takeoff and landing weights, cruising in level 360 initially and then 380 from 30 west onwards, and level 400 once we are past the NUT HLA and in the waters area. So let's have a look into the fuel section now. We can already see the remark, ETOPS fuel is required. Now, with all of that in mind and seeing that we even have some ETOPS fuel on board, I just don't see much reason to take extra fuel. So let's just round that up, 51 tons, and that's probably gonna be it, even though I do have to say we should probably consider having to fly a little bit faster, and this does not look very realistic. Look at that. Costing like 350, just 21 kilos extra fuel at the cost of 6 minutes. I really don't believe that, so let's just go down the safe road over here and take 2 tons more just to be on the safe side. So that's going to lead us from 51 up to 53 tons of fuel on board. Well, and with that out of the way, let's board our beloved Boeing 787. For the sceneries, we are using time modeled Manchester today. At that point, I really gotta say, this is one of my favorite Manchester sceneries here. And our destination is going to be especially exciting since Punta Cana is actually a Freeware airport that's available from flightsim.to. I can very much recommend you check it out. It's looking really good, especially for Freeware. Alright, so with that in mind, let's go ahead and get right into actually flying something. So we have our fuel control levers and cutoff, thrust levers idle, landing gear lever down, wipers are off, and well, then we can power up the batteries and the external power. One of the things I like about the 787 is that the packs can operate just based on AC power, so we can just simply turn them on once the aircraft has finished booting. Well, and then we got them available. So, with that in mind, let's go ahead and continue. So the IRSs are coming on. We'll also turn the emergency lights on already. The packs are also coming on, and the nav light is as well. For the rest of it, we have sufficient oil quantity on board. We do have sufficient hydraulic quantity on board. And last but not least, let's do the recall here and check if there is anything there that's not supposed to be there, but that's actually looking quite good. Oxygen quantity is good as well. We can't do an oxygen test in here, so I'm fine with that. Let's hit initialize flight, and then let's do the very same thing right up here on the FMS. We'll start on the index and the settings, because that's where we can find the weight and balance tab. We're going to set this from the OFP, loading, and here we go. So for the fuel we said we want 53 tons, so let's go ahead and load that. Here we go, and that is looking wonderful, 221 tons, so absolutely easy going today. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the basics. In the meantime, while we're doing that, we can also request our boarding in GSX already, so that we can get everything on the way. So let's see, it's a 787-9 with the GEnx engines. The nav database is up to date. Then let's go over here and copy and paste the GPS position. So let's do the route data request, and at the same time let's also get out our Simbrief flight plan. Interesting, lock-on has expired. Haven't had that in a long while. And here it is. Interesting. Okay, so load that route please. And execute. So Manchester to Punta Cana, Tomjet 118. So departure. So some route data rejected. Review loaded data on route page. We will do that. Okay, so we're planned to depart off runway 23 left, and we've got the Eklat 1 Yankee departure. Execute. And then for our arrival, going into Punta Cana, runway, no, not 09, it's going to be runway 08, my friend, with an RF approach. And then we can take the Katok 1 Whiskey arrival. Alright, let's see if there is any transition we need. Agnal. Alright, and execute. So now let's go ahead and have a look at wherever we might have had a problem with our route uplink. So Manchester to Punta Cana, Tomjet 118. We're departing towards Eklat. Up Yankee 53 Wallasey, Lima 10 Panel, Mike 144 Baxo. Direct Mapak, direct Omoko. Then we have 46 north 20 west, 42 north 30 west, 36 north 40 west, 31 north 50 west, direct 50, direct... Oh, that's where the problem is. So after 50, Mike 597. Airway not found. Oh. That's interesting. Well, in that case, we'll do 50. Then we should have Kika next. So 50. And that looks roughly correct, yeah. 50, Kika, and... Oh, come on, do we really have to go onto the legs page to fix this? And Katok. Why is Katok in here twice? That's better. Okay, and execute. So, that will have to do for the time being. We can fix the rest in flight. So let's now head over to the legs page and get our Manchester charts as well. So, airport, ground chart, parking chart. And now we need the departures, 2-3 left, pin and pin. And we can load that one up. Let's see. Here it is. So, we climb straight out to 3 DME from Manchester. 3.2 DME actually. So that's MCT 32. Then it's a right-hand turn on the Yankee procedures onto a heading of 284. That's what we have. To intercept radial 253 outbound Manchester VOR. 8 DME above 2,500. Then we continue towards 13 DME above 4,000. Then we have 16 DME at 5,000, and then on towards Eklat, like this. Okay, that's it. Is actually looking okay. Wonderful. Then we can go back to the map, route data, wind data request, send. And here it is, loads. So FMCCom, uplink, load, and we'll do the same thing over here and load. I like it. Okay, cool. So progress page, 3,818 miles, and that's pretty much exactly it. So we don't need anything on the NAVRAD page. Fixed page is going to be Echo Golf Charlie Charlie and 25 miles of a ring. Now, transition altitude is definitely not going to be 18,000, but much rather 5,000. Like this. So, init ref. Let's have a look. So, reserve fuel, alternate plus final, and that's 1.6 plus 2.2 gives me 3.8. Like this. Flight level 360. Cost index 30. So cruise CG is also 30. Step size 2000. And execute. And now on to the takeoff page. So Manchester wants noise abatement procedure 2, so acceleration height 3000, and the rest can stay the way it is right now. Okay, and that's our FMS setup complete for the time being. Cool, so let's close this and get back to our main panel. So, IRSs are on, flight control surfaces norm, everything set. Then over here, flight deck door power coming on. Windshield heats coming on, passenger signs going on. Over here we don't need to do anything. Anti-ice systems into auto. Lights are set, and over here everything is set as well. I like it. So let's get down to the main panel. Traffic can come on, and I also want airports on here. Then flight directors on, auto throttles on. And you will also get traffic and airports. Okay, so auto brake RTO. Now for the frequencies, let me see what we've got. Manchester, ground chart. And we have delivery 121.705. And that's going active, and then ground 121.855 into here. So now on the right system, 121.5 active, and the departure 8 is 121.980. Here we go. So transponder should be on 2000, like this, and the rest is looking good. Okay, transponder on the standby, you get the VHFs and you get the transponder. Lovely, and that is all we need. They have data link clearance available here, so let's go ahead and actually request that. So, flight information. We'll start with the ATIS request. Echo Golf Charlie Charlie. Sent. Now, there isn't much other stuff that we need to do, and here it is. So, Manchester Airport, information Tango at 1650, wind 270 at 10, visibility 6, sky condition no cloud detected, 15 degrees, QNH 1018. Here we go, set once, and set twice. Alright, cool. Arriving and departing runway 23 left right, bird activity in the vicinity, advise you have information Tango. Alright, and that is looking good. So let's go ahead and cancel that one. So then, flight info, departure clearance request. ATC facility will be Manchester, and we are departing from Manchester with the destination Punta Cana. Like this, we're in gate 110, ATIS Tango. Let's send them a German greeting. Here we go. So that's all looking good, and sent. So clearance request is on the way. And while we're waiting for the clearance to arrive, let's go ahead and do our departure briefing. Oh, and there is the clearance already, isn't it? Well, being processed, stand by. Alright. So, we are departing Manchester, 23 left via the Eklat 1 Yankee departure today. Initial is 6,000.
Emmanuel, boarding has started and the first passengers are aboard the plane.
Thank you. So, let's see. The MSA on this one is 2,400 in the departure sector. And extra fuel and time, we have 2,000 kilos, that's some 20 minutes in the 7-8. Alright, so, we've got no hotspots for our taxi routing. At least I would love to say so, but unfortunately Manchester is one airport that has a lot of them. So let's go ahead and have a look at the ground chart here again. What's that? Cabin temperature. Hey, you're fine, don't worry. Alright, so technically speaking there are no hotspots over here, but we are pushing up here, then most likely November Bravo, Echo, Delta, Papa, crossing, and then to runway 23 left. At least that's what I'm expecting, giving us a full length of 3,050 meters for our departure. So definitely crossing 23 right is one of the hotspots, and apart from that I have no specials here. So I'm just going to accept that clearance already so that it doesn't expire. Okay, so then let's talk about our abnormals. Stop margin for this takeoff is going to be just a couple of meters. Engine out sits straight at 25 miles, climbing 3,000, and as long as we stay in the south, we can come back at that altitude without any problems. Now, if we do go to the north, we'll climb up to 4,000. ILS 23 right is going to be the active approach for our arrival, and apart from that, I have nothing special, nothing non-standard. Overweight, of course, so we have to consider the possibility of dumping fuel, even though my favorite is to come back without that, just to save the time. Alright, do you have any questions or suggestions? Nope. Beautiful, so that's our briefing complete. Then, here's our clearance. So, clear to Punta Cana, Eklat 1 Yankee departure, runway 23 left. And that's runway 23 left, Eklat 1 Yankee. Alright, maintain 5,000, departure 1858. So, 5,000 and 1858. Is pre-selected. So, squawk 5266. Alright, lovely. And that's our clearance cross-checked. Beautiful. So, that's everything done. Then we are just waiting for our final figures, and then we can go ahead and start to prepare the aircraft for pushback. It says boarding completed down here. I like that. Well done. Complete for pushback. And departure, please. In the meantime, let's do a performance. We have 168.1 versus an estimated weight of 168.1. What a surprise. Alright, 221.1, and that's looking correct over here. Then let's head into the performance. Manchester 23 left, and it's going to be a dry runway. Let's bring the ATIS up again. So 270 at 10. So that was a very nice trick by a user who told me just to enter that slash twice because it will remove one of the two. And guess what? It actually works. So temperature is 15. And QNH 1018, thrust rating optimum, flap config optimum, anti-ice off. And today's CG, let's see. It's 23. So, calculate. And here we go, D takeoff 2, 23 degrees. Tell you what, let's go full takeoff 2. That should not have gone complete, Toga. Okay, well then we're gonna do it this way. So send output, accept, thrust limit, climb 2, and I am going to remove that assumed temperature down here. Oh, why are my takeoff speeds gone again? Send that again, please. Accept. So this is looking much better. Alright, cool. So we're going to keep this. And then we can do the pre-flight checklist. Pre-flight checklist complete. Alrighty, so what are the doors doing? All closed. I like that. Let's say hello to our passengers and then we can call for pushback. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning from the flight deck. This is your captain speaking. My name is Emmanuel in the name of TUI Airways. Welcome aboard our Boeing 787 on our ride to Punta Cana. Today's flight time will be approximately 8 hours 15 minutes. We expect a smooth flight in up to 12,000 meters. For the time being, make yourself comfortable, sit back, relax and enjoy the flight, and we will update you with the latest weather when we start our approach to our destination airport. Thank you for your attention and once again welcome on board. Alright, so let's call for pushback. Manchester delivery Tomjet 118 Heavy requests pushback and startup.
Tomjet 118, pushback and startup approved. Face southwest.
Pushback and startup approved, face southwest, Tomjet 118. Looks like they're doing combined service here with ground and delivery. So, push approved facing southwest, then before start procedures. 169, LNAV, VNAV, 231. And 5,000. So, ground flight, we are pressurizing. So, fuel in center does show, so we'll turn them on as well. 6.5 units at trim. Looking good, transponder is on. Before start checklist. Passenger signs are on. MCP V2 169 heading 231, altitude 5000. Takeoff speeds V1 159, VR 163, V2 169. CDU pre-flight complete, taxi and takeoff briefing completed, and pushback is approved. So let's turn the beacon on. That's the before start checklist complete. So ground flight deck, we're clear to push and the park and brake is set. Roger, release brakes. Brakes released. Thank you. Start of the pushback. Stand by for engine start. And with that, off we go. Looks like they did not actually disconnect the jetway. Now what are they doing over here? Where is he pushing us?
Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome aboard TUI Airways Flight 118 heading to Punta Cana. We kindly ask you to take your seats as per your boarding passes.
Interesting, bringing us onto the line of gate 110 right. Not supposed to do that. I do have a profile for the airport. So don't ask me what GSX is doing here.
And my wonderful colleagues, Jake, Emily, Sarah and Tom. We're here to help you. Now let's go over some important safety information. First, please ensure your seatbelt is fastened low and tight across your lap. To unfasten, simply lift the button. In the unlikely event of a loss of cabin pressure, oxygen masks will drop down from the panel.
Did we forget the APU?
Pull the mask towards you to start the flow of oxygen.
That's what I absolutely hate about flying a non-Airbus aircraft.
We also have life vests located under.
And what I also hate about the ground crew, who would eventually ask me if they can disconnect the ground equipment. And that is of course when you would notice, oh yeah, still have the external power connected. In the real world that stuff is quite a bit easier, my friends. Quite a bit easier.
Please leave your luggage on board. Your safety is our priority. This Boeing 787-9 has 8 emergency exits. 2 at the front,
So, APU is coming.
2 at the rear. Please take a moment
And here we go. Nice. Okay then. So, ground flight, we are starting both engines.
Thank you for choosing TUI, and we hope you have a pleasant journey. Emmanuel, cabin is ready for departure.
Listen to this. Okay, push completed, set brakes. Brake set. Oh, what's that? One right is not armed. Alright, we have 2 good engine starts. You're clear to disconnect. Show me the pin on the left side, please. I have a wonderful day. Bye-bye. So, now that our engine start is complete, let's turn that APU off again. God, something like this had to happen. So, there's the tuck. Now, where's the ramp agent? Can barely see them at all. We're down there, outside the visual range from the flight deck. Alright, hand signal is received. So, flight control check. Full up, full down, neutral. Full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, and neutral. Recall is checked. B4 taxi checklist. Anti-ice. Auto. Recall. Checked. Flight controls. Checked. Ground equipment. Clear. APU. Off. B4 taxi checklist complete. So let's just call the cabin. What's her name again? I keep forgetting that one. Caroline. Perhaps busy right now. Caroline, could you check door 1 right? It's showing in manual and not in automatic.
Okay, Captain, I'll check door 1 right now.
Okay, perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are currently pushing back from the gate.
Okay,
Please
so
ensure that
we're
your
clear on both
seatbelts are
sides. Let's
fastened
request
and your
taxi.
seatbacks are in the upright.
Tomjet 118 Heavy, request taxi.
Wish you a pleasant flight with TUI Airways.
Tomjet 118, taxi to runway 23 left, via November Alpha, Echo Quebec Delta, Bravo, cross runway 05 left, then Bravo Zulu, uniform.
Tomjet 118, taxi runway 23 left via November Alpha, Echo Quebec, Delta, Bravo, cross runway 05 left, Bravo Zulu, uniform. Okay, so we start straight ahead there, November... Where's November Alpha? Oh, up here, okay. So... Terminal? Question mark? That routing doesn't seem to make too much sense. So there's one terminal. That's the top one. And here... Is that chart not matching my airport? Let's load the parking chart. No, the chart does not match my airport. Because we are down here on November Bravo. Well, we are up here in November Alpha, but look at that. Wants us to taxi right over here. And then down here. And that does not match any of my taxiways. So what are we gonna do? November Alpha, Echo Quebec. Eventually we end up on Delta. So Delta, Bravo, Bravo Zulu, and uniform. There is no uniform up here. That taxi routing makes totally no sense. Now, the way this works is St. Tensions reads the taxiways from the scenery, so I guess it has to be the FCAT that's wrong. Okay, I don't care. Let's just find our own taxi routing. Clear left side, clear right side, brakes released. Okay, so we'll just turn to the right over here and then we'll taxi out from there. And I honestly have a feeling that we should have pushed into the other direction and that would have made our entire life a lot easier. Not the last because this looks very narrow for a 787. Yeah, maximum wingspan 52 meters. I wonder why. So the pushback was completely messed up. Look at that, it says November Alpha over there. That's definitely different from the chart. Let's see, are we going AOG? No, not yet. Yeah, look at that, November Alpha over there. So, I guess if we just look at the taxiway designators in the scenery, we should be able to follow that route from St. Tensions. I'm not going to try and fit through here. We'll take that taxiway over there. Okay, so off to the right hand side. So we're supposed to continue via Echo, Quebec, Delta and Bravo. So Echo goes left over here. That's just judging by the taxiway sign right now. That one. Would of course be a lot nicer if we just had a proper chart available, but, well, we've got to work with the tools that we are given, right? So, we're now on Echo, going southbound, and Delta is going to go to the right, so that's going to be over here. So, Delta, Bravo, okay, so this is Quebec now? Very interesting. That's a little different from our chart. A little different. So next we are supposed to turn via Bravo, cross 5 left, and then Zulu uniform. So Bravo to the right hand side. Or to the left hand side. And there is no crossing in here, so has to be to the right. So clear left side and clear right side. Probably not the real world routing. But things would be nicer if we just had correct and up-to-date charts. Alright, so Bravo to the left. Not Bravo Delta, that would be hard left, but that way around. So we were cleared across, runway 05 left, and that's the one over here. Okay, clear on the right side, and clear on the left side. And then we continue via Bravo Zulu uniform. One thing I like about the scenery is how much of a patchwork this is. And yep, that's exactly what the real airport feels like. Alright, cool. So, now there is no Zulu uniform over here. There is a Zulu. Well, there is a uniform. I can't see any Zulu. And uniform is straight at 2,848 meters. That's okay with me. Alright, so now that we finally made our way.
Tomjet 118, contact tower on 118.63.
118.63, Tomjet 118. Okay, so for the takeoff briefing, I'm going to do a left seat takeoff. Runway 23 left, flaps 5, noise abatement procedure number 1. Takeoff speeds 159, 163, 169. Our sit is right hand turn at 3.2 DME from Manchester and initial climb to 5,000. Contact departure when advised, and that's going to be on 118.58. So let's pre-select that. Alright, engine out, straight at 25 miles, pick up a holding, and then we can come back to runway 23 right anytime. Weather is good, so even a visual pattern should be possible. Any questions? No? Perfect. So, before takeoff checklist complete. Manchester Tower, Tomjet 118 Heavy ready for departure.
Tomjet 118, Manchester Tower, runway 23 left, winds 270 at 11, cleared for takeoff.
Runway 23 left, cleared for takeoff, Tomjet 118. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Clear left side, clear right side. Okay, are you ready? Then, as soon as we're on the runway, let's go. Take off. Takeoff thrust set, indications normal. 100 knots. Checked. V1. Rotate. Positive climb. Gear up. So, thrust ref, LNAV, VNAV, speed. Autopilot. A little aggressive, that autopilot.
Tomjet 118, contact departure on 118.58.
118.58, Tomjet 118. Manchester radar, Tomjet 118 heavy, passing 2,200, climbing 5,000.
Tomjet 118, city departure identified. Climb flight level 060, direct D253 hotel.
Climb level 60 and direct to APME. Tomjet 0, correction, Tomjet 118. Alright, so we'll just remain on the city and no need to direct for this bit. So going up to 6,000, then we can delete all those restrictions. And actually there is none that prevents our climb, so that's beautiful. Okay, flaps 1.
Tomjet 118,
Speed check.
climb flight level 210.
Tomjet 118, climb flight level 210. Set, 21,000 checked. Flaps up. Speed checked. Flaps up. And flaps up, no lights. After takeoff checklist. After takeoff checklist complete. So, little cloud over here, not gonna be a problem. Okay, set standard. Standard cross check, passing flight level 51. Now. Checked. Tomjet 118, request to proceed direct Penil.
Tomjet 118, proceed direct to penal.
Proceed direct to Penil, Tomjet 118. Thank you. So we can clear all of you, and then Penil. Right, execute. LNAV available, LNAV.
Tomjet 118, direct to penal approved.
Tomjet 118. Okay, so our engines are in climb thrust, then we don't need that timer anymore. The elapsed timer is operating. If you're wondering why we have two
Tomjet
of them,
118, go ahead with your request.
disregard. Okay, so if you're wondering why we have two different timers, on
Tomjet
one
118,
side...
disregarded.
yeah, thanks. On one hand side, you have the elapsed timer. We start that one by the time the engines reach takeoff thrust. Did I say the elapsed timer? That's the chrono, of course. And then we have the elapsed timer. The elapsed timer starts when the aircraft lifts off the ground. So, two rather different timers, and of course we only need the large one to track the time that the engines actually spent in takeoff thrust. The lower one is used to track the flight time. That's the reason why it starts when you lift off the ground. So, pretty easy stuff when you know what you're doing.
Climb flight level 270.
Tomjet 118, climb flight level 270. Set, 270 checked. Alright, we are passing 10,000, so lights are off, and I think it should stay smooth over here, so let's also turn the passenger signs off.
Dear guests, we are now above 10,000 feet and you may use your electronic devices. Just a friendly reminder, please ensure that they are in airplane mode.
Okay, cool. So, engines are operating in climb thrust, that's totally fine. Then let's go ahead and log on data link.
TUI Airways shop, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you for your attention.
So that's going to
and
be
we hope
Echo
you have a
Golf
pleasant journey.
Tango Tango.
Ladies
And
and gentlemen,
send.
we have reached cruising altitude and we will now begin our snack
Well,
and
not
drink
yet.
service. Today we have some delightful options for you, including our tasty chicken and vegetable wraps and a delicious selection of fresh fruit. After the service, we will also
So
be
let's
offering
see,
items
we are
from
going
the
to
TUI
enter
Airways
Oceanic
shop,
Airspace at
so keep an eye
Mapak.
out for that. Just a quick
And
reminder,
that will
we only
be
accept
at
card payments on board, so please have your
0956,
cards ready.
so
Thank you for
yeah,
flying
we
with
can
TUI
basically
Airways,
request our
and we
oceanic
hope you
clearance
enjoy
straight
your
away.
journey.
So let's go ahead and do that. So you'll stay over here. So flight information, oceanic clearance request, facility, Echo Golf, Golf X-ray, entry point Mapak. So flight level 360, established, thank you. Okay, ETA 0956 and Mach number point, what do we have here? 844, so let's make that point 84.
Tomjet 118, climb flight level 310.
Tomjet 118, climb flight level 310. Set, 310 checked. Okay, so Tomjet 118, Shanwick, Mapak level 360-0956 at Mach 84. And let's see what our max level is. 38. Alright, looking good. Sent. And sent. Wonderful. Very nice. Alright then, my friend, that's pretty much all I can offer you for the time being. So for now, just sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight with us. And when anything interesting happens, I will get straight back at you. Otherwise, see you on the way down in Punta Cana.
118, San Juan Oceanic Center, descend via Betty 1 Whiskey into Punta Cana.
Descend via Betty 1 Whiskey, call you over Cana. Tomjet 118. Alright my friends, so we are descending along the Betty 1 Whiskey arrival. That's been a little rerouting, but interestingly enough, it is one that I've actually seen in the real world already. Let's just help the plane a bit here. Keep descending at 1,000 feet a minute, please. And down to 250 knots. Now, let's go ahead and have a little look into the arrival that we are actually about to fly over here.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now left our cruising altitude and have started our approach to Punta Cana. We kindly ask everyone to return to your seats, stow your tables, and fasten your seatbelts. Please note that the use of the lavatories is no longer allowed at this time. Thank you for your cooperation.
Okay, so descent started, CVDLC service terminated. That is just about fine, and then let's have a look into the arrival.
Tomjet 118, contact Punta Cana approach on 119.75.
119.75, Tomjet 118. So before we do that, let's check our ATIS. Okay, Punta Cana information, Mike. Punta Cana approach, Tomjet 118 heavy, passing 14,800, descending 10,000, information, Mike.
Tomjet 118, Punta Cana approach identified. Good afternoon, Punta Cana QNH 1014. Expect the RNAV runway 8 approach into Punta Cana.
QNH 1014, expect RNAV runway 8, Tomjet 118. Okay, perfect. At least that is what we've planned. So, very quick check here. Punta Cana information, Mike 1900, 135 at 8, sky conditions, few at 2500, temperature 31, QNH 1016 it seems. Let's stay on 1014.
Tomjet 118, descend altitude 12,000, QNH 1014.
Descend altitude 12,000, QNH 1014, Tomjet 118. Okay, I like it. So, then we can clear this stuff. Cool. So, looking into the arrival, originally we were meant to come in via Katok. However, something they do every now and then, and I've had that very same thing happen in the real world already, is that they send you to Betia, and then via the Betia 1 Whiskey arrival. That gives you a couple more track miles, and therefore puts ATC in an easier position to sequence you with the following traffic. So, the threat for this one is of course going to be the train, as we are flying across the mountains. For this reason I've already switched to the train display over here.
Tomjet 118, speed greater than 250 knots.
Speed greater than 250 knots, Tomjets 118. Well, if that's what they say, that's what they get. So, 300 knots, ETA 1735. And the schedule is 1730, so it's actually quite good that we can speed up a bit. Alright, wonderful. And here we are. We are reaching the beautiful beaches of the Dominican Republic. Loving it. Alright, cool. So, let's continue with our approach preparation. I've checked the entire arrival, and we're eventually going to end up on the ANAF approach for runway 8. We are not equipped for a GLS approach, so ANAF is the only thing we can do over here. Now, out of Agnal, we proceed to Volit, which is the intermediate fix, and then Rikik at 1700 is the final approach fix. And we do have all that good stuff done here in our FMS. 3-degree glide slope is in there as well. And minimum is 500 feet, which we have in here as well. Okay, apart from that, nothing special, nothing spectacular. We're going to vacate the runway. After the chart is loaded. Here we go, we're going to vacate the runway via Alpha, and then taxi perhaps Kilo Bravo, or just all the way via Alpha, parking down here on stand number 5. Or number 4, either one of the two. Okay, cool. And that's everything we have down here. So that's our plan for the day. Then let's move over to the drone view and just watch this.
Tomjet 118, descend altitude 4,000.
Tomjet 118, descend altitude 4,000.
Tomjet 118, maintain 4,000 feet, continue RNAV approach runway 8 at Punta Cana.
Tomjet 118, maintain 4,000 feet, continue on the RNAV approach runway 8 in Punta Cana. Okay, excellent. I take that as clearance for the approach. So then, let's go ahead and dial the speed back down towards 250. There are so many birds over here, he said speed 250 or greater, so I'm not going to fly faster than 250 if I can avoid it. Alright, excellent. So then, do we have anything else to do? Well, we can start the approach briefing. So that's up for you, my friend. Alright, so we are going to fly the Betty 1 Whiskey arrival for an RNAV approach runway 08 in Punta Cana. The minimum will be 500 feet barometric, and the go-around straight at via a couple of Papa Charlie points into the holding at Agnal, climbing 3000. And that's down here in the FMS as well. So, extra fuel and time, we arrive with 4.7 and the minimum is 3.8, so we've got 1,000 kilos
descend
extra.
altitude 3,000.
Tomjet 118, descend altitude 3,000. Set, 3,000 checked, and level change. Passing 10. Cabin crew, prepare for landing. Alright, cool. So that's all the basics discussed here. So we are going to fly the
Tomjet
approach.
118, proceed direct void, cleared for the RNAV runway 8 approach,
Captain,
speed below
cabin is
210
ready.
knots until established.
Tomjet 118, proceed direct void, cleared RNAV from 8 approach. And say again the speed restriction.
You turn off all electronic devices and stow them until we've arrived at the gate. Please ensure your tray tables are put away, your seats are in their full upright position, and your seat belts are fastened. Our TUI Airways staff on the ground will provide you with information regarding your connecting flights.
Vertical
Thank you
speeds.
for your cooperation.
Tomjet 118, say again our speed restriction. No?
Tomjet 118, proceed direct void, cleared for the RNAV runway 8 approach, speed below 210 knots until established.
Tomjet 118, speed below 210 knots until established. Thank you. Well, this gentleman sounds a little annoyed. But not much of a problem. We'll get there. So, let's just go back to our briefing for a moment. Flight director guided RNAV approach, flaps 30 and auto brakes 2, maximum reverse to vacate the runway to the right, flaps 1, speed checked, flaps 1. Checklist incomplete norm, we'll get back to that. Okay, apart from that, what are we going to do? Well, vacate to the right, we have one hotspot for the taxi, and that's the crossing of the other runway, 09, and apart from that, I have nothing special or non-standard over here. Let's just confirm the QNH with him. Tomjet 118, confirm QNH.
Tomjet 118, QNH 1015.
QNH 1015, Tomjet 118. Okay, so QNH 1015 is set and passing 7,100 now. Checked. Alright, I like it. So, that's everything we could do. Any questions on the approach briefing? No? Wonderful. Then let's do the approach checklist, please. Altimeters, QNH 1015. Approach checklist complete. So, nice little headwind, speed 210 as instructed, and then void 3000 or above. It's slightly below the profile, but our range to altitude arc lies nicely in front of volet, so that we can reduce our speed at any time. 190 for the VNAV profile looks quite good to me, so I'm pretty happy with things as they are right now. Well, lovely. And that's our preparation for the approach into Punta Cana complete. I just really like this airport, I really do. It's lovely for flying visual approaches when the weather permits. Had we come from the other direction, we might have been able to do one, but okay, doesn't matter. This way we'll fly the RNAV approach, not a problem. And you have beautiful terrain in the area as well. I mean, look at this. This is just so rural and so, yeah, original. Oh, people doing farming. I do believe that they plant a lot of sugar over here, however you call that plant. And then there is that one highway over there that leads from Punta Cana down to La Romana. And when it's raining, that highway can actually flood. And let me tell it that way. You don't want to drive across there when the highway is flooded. For some time, my airline brought us to the hotels in Punta Cana when we flew to La Romana. So we had to drive all the hour and a half or whatever it was across that highway all the way to the hotel in Punta, which is fine. But then again, you have to drive back before the flight home. And that was something that a couple of people complained about. Personally, I didn't mind because I can easily sleep in a bus, but those who can't, an hour and a half of a drive before you actually get to fly your plane home, even with 3 pilots, that is some work. Alright, so we're approaching Volet. And let's start to reduce our speed. Flaps 5. Speed checked. Flaps 5.
Tomjet 118, contact Punta Cana Tower on 118.8.
118.8, Tomjet 118. Punta Cana Tower, Tomjet 118 Heavy, RNAV 08. Alt. And we're passing Volet, so let's go down to 1700.
Tomjet 118, Punta Cana Tower, negative. Runway 8 is active. Wind 135 at 8. Runway 8, clear to land.
Runway 8, clear to land. Tomjet 118. I'm not sure what this guy understood again, but I guess I don't want to know. So, nicely established on the final. Now we'll go down to 1700, and from there we're going to intercept the final at Reykjavik. So, flaps 15. Runway in sight. So, Reykjavik 1700, and then with a ground speed of 140 we'll need 750 feet a minute. Alt. Go around altitude 3000 set, gear down, flaps 20. And flaps 30. Speed checked, flaps 30.
Landing here.
Yeah, it's coming.
Landing here. Landing here. Landing here. Landing here.
Alright, landing checklist. Landing checklist complete. So, approaching Reykjavik. Vertical speed. Minus 800. And down we go. So we're clear to land, the lights are on, the signs are on. That's looking very good. And we can see the puppy, 2 white, 2 red. So let's see, ground will be 1 to 1.9. Let's just pre-select that. Alright, disconnecting. So, flight directors off. Checked. So, flight path vector on. Checked. Continue. That's one pretty high tree down there. Speed brake up, thrust reverse normal. $80 knots, manual brakes. And here we are.
Tomjet 118, welcome to Punta Cana. Contact ground on 121.9er.
121.9er, Tomjet 118. Punta Cana ground, Tomjet 118, request taxi to gate 5.
Tomjet 118, taxi to gate 5 via Alpha, cross runway 27, then Delta Echo Echo 2. Have a good day.
Taxi to gate Alpha, correction, taxi to gate 5 via Alpha, cross runway 27, Delta, Echo 2. Alrighty. So, here we are, starting APU, lights are
Ladies
coming
and gentlemen,
off.
welcome to Punta Cana. We have just landed safely, and on behalf of Captain Emmanuel, First Officer Amanda, and the entire crew, thank you for flying with TUI Airways. The local time here is 12:36 p.m. Just a fun fact for you. Punta Cana is known for its stunning beaches and vibrant nightlife, making it a popular destination for travelers seeking relaxation and adventure. Please
I can
remain
absolutely
seated
confirm
to reach our
that.
final parking position. We hope you enjoy your time here.
Okay, so in Alpha we're crossing runway 27. And then Delta is that long one on the apron there. That one over here. So basically, we cross over here and then taxi straight to the gate, which is going to be on the left-hand side. And that's about as easy as it gets. So, as mentioned, the scenery itself is freeware, available on flightsim.to. I do hope I will remember putting the link into the description below. If not, you guys just remind me of it, and then I absolutely will. Otherwise, just go to flightsim.to and enter Mike Delta Papa Charlie into the search, and you will absolutely find it as well. I really do like it. It's one of those airports that is always a highlight in my long-haul life when I'm flying here, because it's a lovely approach, but then again, the layover is even more lovely, especially when you have several day layovers. 1 month I used to fly here 3 times and have 3 local days each time. That was like complete paid holidays, honestly. So let's try and find that parking. Number 5, no follow me. And here they are. So yeah, that month that was just complete free holiday. 9 local days. I used to be here on holidays once and I paid like 4,000 euros for 9 local days. And in those cases I was paid, well, probably quite a bit more than those 4,000 euros for being here. Alright, so lights off, weather radar is off. Terrain can go off as well. So, gate number 5, that is ours. So the marshal is inside, hiding very well in front of that vegetation over there. Oop, that was a pretty rapid stop. Okay, APU running. Brake set, shutdown left, shutdown right. And this time we do have power. This is looking better, isn't it? Cabin crew, all doors in park. So... shutdown checklist, please. Park and brake. Set. Shutdown checklist complete. Alright then. So let's go ahead and have a look. Systems. Alright, so all those messages up here are expected. And
all aircraft information November is now current. QNH 1015.
Okay, nothing in the status, so that is all looking excellent. Wonderful then. So, 4,400 kilograms in the tanks. Let's see how much we were supposed to have. So we took 52 tons and we were supposed to burn like 44. So we should have 8,000 and we only have 4.5. Wow. I mean, that start surely cost us a ton, but I didn't expect it to use that much fuel more. Okay. So we're definitely going to remember that for the next flight planning. But until then, I hope that you guys have enjoyed the flight as much as I did. I surely had a blast going here, finally with some good scenery as well. Now we are probably going to do a comparison flight back to the UK, where we are going to use the tropical sim scenery for Punta Cana, so that you guys can decide which one you prefer. Most certainly this one is worth getting since it's free. So I can absolutely recommend that. In the meantime, I do hope you all enjoyed the flights. Be sure to leave your feedback in the comments underneath the video. If you liked our ATC, then be sure to check out Say Intentions AI using the link in the video description and in the pinned comment below. Thank you very much for watching. As always, I hope you had as much fun as I did recording this. And if you really liked the video, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. And if you really love what I'm doing on this channel, would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me a Coffee link in the video description below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'm looking forward to see you all again on the next one.